Good evening, class. My name is Latrobe Tangan, and this is my special occasion speech. Over 160 million Americans are eligible to vote in this upcoming general election on November 5th, and according to the Associated Press, roughly 74 million of them have already voted through mail-in ballots. If you are among the pool of undecided voters who have not yet voted, this speech is for you. I plan to give a speech of inspiration in hopes I inspire you to vote for Kamala Harris as our next president. This election is one of the most consequential elections we will face in the 21st century. It is a choice between two political leaders, one who is a convicted felon and the other a former prosecutor. Regardless of which party you affiliate with, the choice you make on this year's ballot will impact the future of your kids, your friends, your family, and yourself for the next following years. As a child of immigrant parents, it is my civic duty to ensure my rights as a U.S. citizen are not taken advantage of, and therefore I will vote for Kamala Harris for president, as she will preserve our fundamental freedoms and promote the general welfare of our great republic. Throughout this speech, I will briefly discuss who Kamala Harris is and what she has accomplished in her lifetime, inform you of the high stakes involved in this election, and lastly empower you to vote for Kamala Harris by discussing the values we share as Americans in hopes you decide to vote for democracy and not a dictatorship. For starters, let me introduce you to who Kamala Harris truly is. You might have been aware already that Kamala Harris has been our nation's vice president since 2021, after Joe Biden won the 2020 presidency. However, did you know that before stepping foot in the White House, Harris was once an attorney? She was the Attorney General of California from 2010 to 2017, and in that time, she helped lower crime by setting up what she called the Smart on Crime Initiative, which, according to a recent BBC News article, were policies that kept nonviolent offenders out of prison by steering them to job training programs and ensuring young offenders remained in school. Further into her career, Kamala continued her efforts to reform our criminal justice system when elected as the junior senator of California in 2018. The Week publication explains in a 2024 article that as a senator, Harris advocated for Black lives following the death of George Floyd and also criticized the unfair due process of Hispanic immigrants at the U.S. border. As you can see, throughout her life as an attorney and politician, Kamala Harris was a brave American who advocated for the rights of minority groups and brought them the justice they deserved. Tying this back to the 2024 election, our democracy is at stake. MAGA Republicans want to take our rights away, more specifically our rights to affordable health care, bodily autonomy, and our right to vote. A 2022 article written by the Center for American Progress Action found instances where another Trump presidency under MAGA control could undermine the safety of many Americans. One great example they provide is the story of Paula Alexander, who for years could not afford the medications prescribed to treat her high blood pressure. If MAGA Republicans succeed in cutting Medicare away, Paula fears that she will be unable to afford her life-saving medications. Another potential victim is Dolores Hernandez, who after the overturning of Roe v. Wade worries that conservative extremists will pass a nationwide abortion ban and limit complete access to IVF and contraceptives. Altogether, it seems that the fate of American lives is at great risk. Republicans across the nation want to take our country back to a time when white men had all the power. However, do not let their anger or pride fear you from voting. It is apparent that there is a clear distinction between far-right Republicans like Donald Trump and progressive leaders like Vice President Harris. Unlike her counterpart, Kamala Harris seeks to restore balance in our country by paving a new way forward. According to her campaign platform, Harris and her running mate Governor Walz value in protecting our fundamental freedoms, strengthening our democracy, and ensuring every American has the opportunity to not just get by, but to get ahead. On the issues of the economy, Harris plans to create an opportunity economy so that middle-class families have a chance to succeed in their small businesses. On issues of house prices, Harris pledges to build newer rental apartments and family homes that are more affordable. And on issues of abortion, Harris criticizes that the government should not be the one to decide what a woman does to her own body and will fight to the end until reproductive freedoms are restored. The issues we Americans care about and want to preserve are the same ones Kamala Harris values. If there's anyone on the ballot for president, Harris is the one to vote for, as our fight for our future is also a fight for freedom. As noted again in her campaign platform, many fundamental freedoms are at stake in this election. The freedom to make decisions about your own body, the freedom to love who you love openly, and the most vital freedom that unlocks all the others, the freedom to vote. To sum it all up, you have learned who Kamala Harris is and her political experience, were informed of the high stakes involved in this upcoming election, and hopefully have been empowered enough to vote for Kamala Harris as she shares similar values as us Americans, so that you make the important decision to preserve democracy and prevent a dictatorship. As a child of Filipino parents who risked their lives immigrating to this country, it would be a dishonor to not vote for Kamala Harris for president, as she will preserve our fundamental freedoms and ultimately promote the general welfare of our great republic. Kamala has fought courageously to reform our criminal justice system, to make our economy work for all Americans, and to ensure that reproductive health care is a right and not a privilege. She has proven that she can bring people together, including those from opposite ends, and overcome the challenges we face ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my special occasion speech. Thank you for listening.